Hello, this is the Balance and Strength Step 1 class. We're going to have our two instructors today. So I'm going to show the standing option and Bree is going to show the seated option. So you can follow either one of us along the whole class. Rid of some housekeeping notes as always, making sure that you have a nice open space. You can move your body without hitting into furniture. You can have a chair to either sit on or use as a balance device. If you are standing, making sure you either have shoes or bare feet, just making sure you're not in a slippery area. We want to be as stable on the floor as we can. If you feel any pains or aches during the class, that means you might want to take it a bit easy. For this class, you can always go on your own pace and your own speed. So if you need to go a bit slower, that's great. If you want to quicken it up a bit, that works as well. If you do feel any pain or discomfort, you can always take a break, maybe stretch it out, do some active recovery positions, and then join us in for the next exercise. So we do not want you to move through any pain. All right, if we are feeling good, let's start out our class today. So Bree is going to do this class sitting down. So you can start sitting down and just bringing your knees up to your chest. Nice. Versus I'm going to try to demonstrate this class standing up. So we have the two options. Nice. So let's add our upper body in if it's available. You can drive opposite arm as leg. Nice. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. So for this class, we're going to section it off as some warm-up exercises, some upper body exercises, lower body exercises, a couple balance exercises. We're going to go through the upper body, lower body, and balance twice through, and then we'll have a bit of a cool down and stretch at the end of class. Good. Let's change up our legs. So now we're going to tap our leg to the side. If you're sitting down, you might need to rotate that leg out. Yeah, good. So if you're standing, try to have a small bend in that standing leg, but thinking you're nice and tall. Good. If you want to add in some arms, you can do opposite arm as leg. So if my right arm is up, my left leg is out, and an opposite side. Good. You can add in the arms if you're sitting down as well. Nice. Good. We're just trying to do big movements while taking deep breaths, waking up our body. Nice. And 3, 2, and 1. We're going to change it up, tapping the heel in front. Good. You can always hold on one hand, two hands, or no hands, or do it sitting down as well. Good. If you want to add in some arms, you can reach forwards and then drive those elbows behind. Reaching forwards, driving the elbows behind. Nice. If you're feeling good without any hands, you can move both hands at the same time. Very nice. And again, for this warm-up, if you want to quicken it up a bit, get that heart rate going, you can, or you can keep it nice and slow. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're now going to kick our heel up to our bum or kick the bottom of the chair if you're sitting down. Nice. So just gentle bending of the knees. Very good. Either sitting down or standing. Very nice. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it back to our march. So just comfortable marching, trying to raise the knees up without rotating back. So even if you're sitting down, you're keeping nice and tall, not letting yourself roll back onto your tailbone. Nice. Deep breath in and out. Okay, we're going to review this active stance or active sitting position. And we're going to start from our toes and then all the way up to our head. And this is like a position that is beneficial to check in with before you start exercising. So let's start with our feet. Either sitting or standing, you want to have your feet just underneath your hips. So I don't want my feet stuck together, and I don't want them too far apart that it's hard to actually start moving. You can even think of it as like two fists in between your feet. Good. Next, moving up to our knees. If you're sitting down, just making sure that your knees are bending over your toes and they're not flailing in or out. And if you're standing, I want us to have a small bend in the knees. So not hyperextending them back, but keeping them with a nice bounce. Very good. Up to our hips and pelvis, abdominals and back, both sitting and standing. I want us to make sure that our upper body is right on top of those legs. So we can even practice trying to find that position. You can hinge forwards a bit, either sitting down or standing, and then really think of standing back up, like your head's driving towards the ceiling. Check in that you're not hyperextending back. Sometimes when we really think of being tall, we tend to lean back a bit, just making sure we have that neutral spine length. Good. So just playing around with that a bit, trying to find that neutral central position. Good. Let's move up to our shoulders now. I'm going to go a bit closer to the camera, but Bree can stay where she is. You can see that, sometimes when we are sitting, the shoulders like to relax in. But for when we're exercising, we really want to practice bringing the shoulders by the side of our body. So if we were to just let our arms hang by our side, that they're right beside our rib cage, not in front. So what you can do is even just do some nice shoulder rolls here and try to find that neutral position where your chest is nice and wide. You might have a bit of tension or engagement in your back where your shoulder blades are. Nice. So trying to open up our chest, keeping the shoulders by our side. And then finally, last but not least, our head. So we were talking about that neutral spine. So that goes from our tailbone all the way up to the top of our head. Sometimes when we're tired, again, that head likes to come forwards, especially when we're exercising, but checking in that you're looking straight in front of yourself. Your head is nice and tall. You can imagine you have a string at the top of your head and someone's pulling that spine very tall. Good. Okay, so that's our active stance position. Let's do some range of motion while keeping this position, either sitting down or standing. Let's do some ankle rolls. Good. And in the opposite direction. And over to the other side. Nice. Opposite direction. Good. And then if you're sitting, just check in with the knees. Just extend the knees as if you're kicking a ball in front. Good. And if you're standing, let's do just some small bounces. So we're keeping those knees bent if you're standing, but you're just bouncing maybe from one leg to the other, seeing how those knees are feeling. Good. Let's move up to our abdominals and hips. Why not? Let's just practice the hip hinge forwards again. And then back up. So when we say that hip hinge, we're really imagining that someone sliced us in half so that our upper body is staying where it is. You can see I'm letting my bum go behind me. And when I'm standing back up, I'm bringing that pelvis back underneath my body. Sticking it out behind And then back up to nice and tall. Good. All right, now I think we can move on to the arms. Let's do large arm circles, one at a time, either sitting down or standing. Nice. Deep breaths in and out. If there's any pain or discomfort, you can always make this range of motion a bit smaller, just working in your pain-free range of motion. Good. And then now let's move the arms the opposite direction. So that means they're coming forwards. If you're sitting or standing and you want to keep warm, you can also just march on the spot as we're doing these arms. Nice. Good. All right, let's move down to the elbows. Bringing those elbows up like we're a puppet. And then drawing big circles with our hands, isolating at the elbows. So you can imagine you're a puppet or a robot. You're doing the robot dance. Good. Draw the circles in the opposite direction. Nice. All right, let's bring those attention to our wrists because we may or may not be holding some weights today, depending on what you choose to do. We're going to do some big circles with those wrists and then in the opposite direction. Very good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. You can drop those arms down. Let's just do big, big marches. You can swing the arms as well because we're going to do our first brain game. So I'm going to give you a 4-digit number, and I want you to try to remember this number until the end of class. At the end of class, I'll remind you and say, hey, do you remember what that 4-digit number was today? So the 4-digit number I want you to remember is 6591. 6591. All right, I think we're ready for our first upper body exercises. We are going to use weights or without weights. Oh no, I need to just grab another weight. I'll be right back. There we go. So just light hand weights, whatever you feel comfortable. Soup cans, water bottles, or no weights works as well. We're going to raise our arms up so they're in front, as if we're holding on to a motorcycle, and then driving the elbows back and behind, keeping the arms up at this 90 degrees. Good. So we're doing rows, forwards, and back. Very nice. So I'm going to start the timer. We're going to be here for around a minute. As we're exercising here, check in with that active stance. Feet are both on the ground, hips width distance apart. If you're standing, you have a small bend in your knees. If you're standing or sitting down, our pelvis is right on top of our legs. We're not leaning forwards or back. We're using those abdominals to keep ourselves nice and tall. Our shoulders are down by our sides. So sometimes as we get tired with these exercises, the shoulders like to come up further to our ears. If that happens, give yourself a break and reset. Good. And then finally that head, making sure that head is stable. We're not going to be bobbleheads today. We're going to stabilize that neck. Very good. Keep breathing here. We got 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let those arms hang down. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Good. Okay, exercise number 2. We're going to make shapes with our arms. So option 1 is to bring your arms out in a T shape and then squeeze those elbows so they come beside your ribs to make a W shape. So this is T and W. Very good. I'll start the timer. This is our second exercise. You can see, or I'm trying to get you to see, the shoulder blades are squeezing together by my spine as I do the W, and then relaxing as I do the T. Good. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can do TWYW. So you bring the arms up to make a large Y shape as well. Nice. Continue moving or take a break when you need it. 20 more seconds here. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Good. Keeping those shoulders down, keeping that chest nice and open. Breaths all the way down to your belly. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Let those arms hang down again. Couple shoulder rolls. Yeah, stretch out that neck if you need it. Good. Okay. Next exercise is our bicep curls. So again, we're either standing or sitting in that active position. The goal is to bring the hands up to the shoulders and back down. So if I go from the side, you can see my hands are coming up to my shoulders. I'm not letting my shoulders roll down to my hands. Good. So our biceps are those muscles at the front of our arms. These help us lift objects up. They also help just so we can move around or resist and, you know, pick up pots and pans, pick up boxes. So you can imagine that you're lifting up maybe a box of old clothing or a laundry hamper. Nice. Good. Check in with your head. Sometimes that neck likes to fall forwards in our bicep curls. Think that your spine is tall and lengthening, even as you're sitting down or standing. Very good. And 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. We can move the weights to the side, and we're going to give ourselves a bit of a break. So let's go back into a marching position, and let's give our arms a bit of a stretch. So let's first do some shoulder rolls, really letting the shoulders come down to the ground between each circle. Good. Very nice. And you might even want to bring one arm up, cross your body, and then give it a nice hug towards your chest. Breathing in and out, in and out, over to the other side. Breathing in and out, breathing in and out. Nice. All right. So this is a great time to grab some water as well. We're going to move on to our lower body exercises. So our first lower body exercise, you can do this sitting or standing. I'm going to start also sitting down as well. But the idea is that you're sitting at the very edge of your seat. You have that nice active sitting position. Actually, I should roll back a bit. And I want you to bring that knee up, extend the leg out, and then lower it to the ground and drag that heel back in. So knee up, extend the leg straight, slowly bring it back down, and into the center. So as if you're taking large steps forwards. Really try and flex that foot as well. Nice. Okay, so that's the sitting option. If you are standing, we can try to take exaggerated steps. So same idea, knee up, extend the leg forwards, but if you're standing, you're going to take a step in front and then finish that step off. So I'm just not going to hold on to show you from the side, or you can hold onto a wall, knee up, extend the leg, and then take that big step forwards. Good. And then back together. Nice. So if you're standing and you're feeling really good without any balance devices, you can just walk around your area with these big steps, one at a time. Nice. So the timer has started, and continue moving here for the full minute. I'm just going to show some other options. So if you're holding on with a chair maybe in front of yourself, you can just take a smaller step. So really try and exaggerate that knee up and back. And you can even push off and do the opposite motion as well. So big step forwards, and then taking that step back together. Nice. So oftentimes when we're walking around our house or our place, or just walking around outside, we like to take a lot of small, fast steps. But I'm getting you to really break down that movement of taking a large step, keeping your balance, maybe even pushing off to come back to the center. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, exercise number 2 is our side steps. So if you are sitting down, a similar mechanism of movement, we're going to do knee up, but now we're going to try and rotate that leg to the side while keeping our body nice and tall, stamping it back down, and then raising it back up to the center. Good. And we're going to swap one leg at a time. Now, if you're standing up, we're going to take a big step to the side and over. So if you're sitting down, you can see that the knee is rotating out. But when we're standing, I want your knees to always face the front. That's going to be the difference. Good. Let's continue moving for the minute. I'm just going to give myself an object to step over. You can just imagine you have an object to step over. So really exaggerate these big steps to the side. Good. Maybe you're stepping over a puddle, or you imagine you're going on a hike and you're stepping over a big log that's in the path. Either one works. All right, for the last 20 seconds, if you want a bit of a more difficulty, if you're standing, you can practice having a constant bend in your knees. So you're in a bit of a squat position throughout the whole movement, keeping those knees over our toes. So if I show from the front, my knees are moving over my toes. Good. We're not letting those knees kiss together or flail out to the side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Give yourself a bit of a break. You may want to shake out a leg or two. All right. Next exercise is our sit to stand. We have some options. Option number 1 is going to be sitting in our active stance, active sitting position, leaning forwards, sitting back upright, and then raising one knee up at a time. This is option 1. Nice. Option 2 is leaning forwards, having your hands on your knees, making sure that your nose is over your knees and toes, pushing off, so our bum is hovering off the chair, and then controlling ourselves back down. This is option number 2. Option number 3 is a full sit to stand. So you're going to go through option number 2, but now straighten your knees and hips to stand up nice and tall and control yourself back down. So those are the 3 options. Bree can either do option 1 or 2. I'll do option 3. Our goal is to continue moving for the full minute. So if you start with doing the full sit to stands, and then you get a bit tired, try not to stop altogether. Try just to go back to maybe option number 1. So you can give yourself a bit of a break, but you're not stopping that movement altogether. All right, so let's give it a try. 3, 2, 1, and go. So as you're moving here, taking deep breaths in and out, as much as you can, try to move with control. So as you're lowering yourself back down, you can control that bum is reaching down towards the chair, and then you're sitting upright. Nice. I'm just going to face the front again and really emphasize these knees are moving right over the feet. They're not squished together, and they're also not flailing out to the side. Both knees and toes are facing the front. Good. If you're doing the full standing option, you can practice with your arms out in front as well, if that helps you counteract the weight. And 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. All right, let's give ourselves a bit of a break here. You can either continue marching on the spot while sitting down or marching while standing. Here's another time for some water or a bit of a stretch out. We're going to now be trying out our balance exercises. So for these balance exercises, option number 1, sitting down. We're going to be in that active sitting position, and we're going to try and reach that right arm to the right corner, and then back to the center, and then over to the left side. Nice. If you're feeling good with that, I want you to add a bit of a lean. So you're putting your weight into the right butt cheek, and you're leaning that body out to the side and back to the center. Nice. As if you're trying to grab something at the top of each corner. This exercise is sometimes called apple picking. So you can imagine that you're picking an apple on each side. You can probably imagine if you are standing, same exercise, but now you're shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Good. Very nice. So you can do this at whatever speed or pace you feel comfortable with, as long as you're really keeping that control. And you can even challenge yourself to lift that opposite leg off the ground as if you're balancing on one leg at a time. Nice. Good. The key is to really imagine you're pulling that arm one way and the leg the other way. You have opposite directions, and then back to the center. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, awesome. If you are sitting down for this class and you don't feel comfortable standing, for the next couple of movements, I want you to practice heel raises and toe raises. So you're going to be alternating raising your heels off the ground and your toes off the ground. And if you want a bit more of a challenge, you can really put your weight into your legs so you resist that movement with your hands to give yourself a bit more weight. Okay, awesome. So that's what Bree's going to demonstrate. But if you are standing for this class, we're going to be exploring different balances in different positions. So balance option or level number 1, if my hands were my feet, both feet are on the ground as if I'm just balancing in the active stance position. So we're going to be here for 10 seconds, and this is your time to really explore how your balance is feeling today. All right, timer has started. So in this active stance position, small bend in the knees, lengthen your spine, and breathing. Good. If that felt good, you can move on to level 2. So if my hands are my feet again, I'm taking one big step out with my right foot. You can see I'm not on one line. I'm not trying to stand on a tightrope. There's still space in between my two legs. All right, I'm going to try on the right side first, taking that big step out. 10 seconds starting now. So with this tandem position, you can explore keeping your balance with different arms. Very good. And then try it out with the left foot in front. 10 seconds starting now. Breathing in and out. Good. All right. If that felt comfortable, you can try balancing on one foot at a time. So if my hands are my feet, I'm just going to be balancing on one foot and then the other foot. All right, let's try on the right foot, putting my weight onto the right leg, hovering the left leg just off of the ground. 10 seconds starting now. So we're balancing on one leg. If this is a bit too hard, always go back to a previous level. And putting both feet on the ground over to the left side now. So now I'm standing on my left leg. 10 seconds starts now. You can practice keeping your balance in this position. Good. All right. That was our last balance exercise for both seated or standing option. We are now going to go back to our arm exercises. So we're going to review these exercises over a bit more, and we're going to do them one more time through. Exercise number 1 was our front rows. So we are either sitting or standing in the active position, arms out in front, and rowing those elbows behind. Good. Very nice. Keep moving here. Deep breaths. Good. So as we're exercising here, 2 things to keep in mind: keeping those shoulders down by our side, not up by your ears. And when you're bringing these arms back, make sure that your abdominals are engaged, you're stabilizing, you're not letting yourself extend back. So this isn't a full body movement. There's movement in the arms, but that core is stabilizing. Good. So keep that rib cage down. Don't try to wing out to the side. And 10 more seconds. Breathing in and out. And 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let those arms hang down. Exercise number 2 was our Y's and T's and W's. So option 1 was to bring the arms out to a T position, squeeze the elbows to the ribs and back out. Nice. This is option 1. Option 2 is to add in a Y position overhead, down to the W, T, W. Good. Same idea with this exercise. This is just the arms moving, that upper body staying where it is. Good. All right, let's play a bit of a game here. We're going to play a numbers game. So I want you to start at 20, add 5 minus 2. So 20 plus 5, 25 minus 2, 23. So at 23, add 5 minus 2. Good. See if you can work that brain while working your body. Keep counting. And 3, 2, 1. Very nice. All right, I'll give us a bit more of a break before our last exercise. You can do some shoulder rolls. Good. All right, last exercise is our bicep curls. So bringing the arms up to our shoulders and back down. Again, keeping those shoulders back, that chest nice and proud. Good. All right. Whichever number you stopped off at, add 5 minus 2. See how high you can count up till. Good. If you want a bit of a challenge and you want to practice overhead presses, you can bring your thumbs up, bring your thumbs to your shoulders, and then press those arms overhead. This is another option if you want to add just some overhead movement. Nice. Keeping that body nice and stable, active stance or active sitting position. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, now we get a bit of a longer break. Let's roll out the shoulders. Move that neck a bit, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Good. You can grab some water as well, because that was the end of our upper body exercises. Now all we have lower body and balances. All right, if you're feeling good, you can join us in at any time. I'm just going to move these weights out of our way. We are going to do our big steps forwards and to the center. So if you're sitting down, again, knee up, knee extend, stamp, knee back up, and the other way. Or you can just drag it back to the center. If you are standing, I'll review our options. So you can keep it nice and small, like a small step forwards, but really trying to lift that foot off of the ground. If you're feeling good and you don't need that balance device, you can practice taking big steps forwards together and then continuing that march forwards. Good. Nice. So join us in at any time. We have around 30 more seconds left. Something to keep in mind is the upper body is still nice and tall. Even as the knee comes up, you're not letting yourself roll back. Instead, if that just means the movement's a bit smaller, that's a-okay. As long as we're keeping that body on top of our spine, that active stance or active sitting position. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Lower body exercise number 2 is our side stepping. So I'm going to get my object back. If you're sitting down, you're externally rotating at the hip and then coming back down to the center. But if you're standing, I want your knees and your toes always facing the front. So you're going to do a wide stance, narrow stance. Good. All right, I'll start that minute. So if you're standing, you can either do this, with the legs nice and tall, standing upright, just stepping over an imaginary object. Or you can challenge yourself, have a bit more bend in the knees, and keep in that squat position, as if you're ducking underneath something. Good. Let's continue moving here. If you want to add in some arms, you can always go arms wide, arms narrow, matching the legs. Good. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Move my object out of the way. All right, last lower body exercise is our sit to stands. So you can give yourself a bit of a break and watch our options again, or you can just join in with whichever option you felt good about. Option number 1, leaning forwards, sitting upright, high knee raises. Option 2, leaning forwards, that nose is over the knees and toes before you push up and then controlling back down. Option number 3 is the same as option number 2, but now you're straightening the knees and hips to stand up tall and then controlling yourself back, really reaching that bum back to find the seat before sitting upright. All right, so again, we want to try moving for the full minute, going through whichever option that you feel good about. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, let's play another brain game. We'll take a break from numbers for now. And I want you to go through the alphabet, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or whichever alphabet that you use, and try to think of a name that starts with each of those letters. So A, I think of Amelia. B, I think of Bella. So see how far you can go through the alphabet thinking of names, preferably real names, maybe names of people who you know. All right, I'll be quiet now and continue trying to say those names out loud each time you stand up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Let's give ourselves a bit more of a break. We can march on the spot or march standing up. Good. All right. All that we have left is our balance exercises and then a bit of a cool down. Balance exercise number 1 was our apple picking. So if you're sitting down, you're using that postural control to reach side to side. Nice. And if you're standing, I'm just going to show side profile as well. You're really reaching to the side, back to the center, to the side, back to the center. So it's not in front, it's not behind, just straight to the side. Good. Let's continue moving here, out to the side, back together. You can continue trying to get through the whole alphabet of names that you know or names that you've heard before that start with each letter of the alphabet. If you want to challenge your balance a bit more, you can try lifting one leg off of the ground, the opposite leg as the arm. Good. Or you can even try holding for a couple seconds and back to the center. And bounce for a couple seconds and back to the center. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, next balance exercise. If you want to take a break and just continue sitting, you can practice that knee extension. So either straightening one leg out at a time, or if you're feeling very comfortable, you can scooch your bum to the back of the seat and then try lifting both knees up off the ground at the same time, keeping that length in your spine, trying not to roll back too much. Okay, that's the seated option. For those who are standing, let's go through those 3 levels of stances again. So level number 1, standing 2 feet in that active stance position. 10 seconds, starting now. As we're balancing or exercising, continue to take deep breaths. Try out different arm positions. Good. Level 2, if that felt comfortable, was 1 foot taking that big step out in front, both knees relatively straight here, and 10 seconds starting now. So I want you to try to find that center between the 2 legs. So not too far forwards, not too far back, but just right in between. 2, 1. Try it out to the other leg in front now. 10 seconds starting now. Big breath in and out. Moving those arms any way you want. Good. All right, level 3, if that felt comfortable, was balancing on one leg at a time. You can hold on with one hand, 2 hands, or no hands. 10 seconds starting now. So I'm balancing on my right leg. I'll start with one arm on the chair, and then I'll try without holding on. Good. And then over to the other leg now. So I'm trying to balance on my left leg. 10 seconds starting now. Only let go of your balance device if you feel comfortable to do so. You can always put your foot back on the ground if you lose your balance. 2 and 1, both feet back on the ground. All right, we can take a break, both seated and standing options. That was all of our big exercises. Let's now give ourselves a bit of a cool down. So to start, I want us to do some slow motion marching. So just moving that body again, just slowing down the movement. Tapping into that breath again. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. And then now let's kick our heel up to our bum, or kick the heel back under the chair. Good. Really trying to stretch out that quadricep muscle group. So really think that you're nice and tall, standing or sitting down. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're now going to tap a heel in front, just like that heel taps that we did in the warm-up. But this time, I want you to stay a couple seconds and hinge that body forwards, and we'll probably feel a bit of a stretch along the back of our legs. Just stay there for a couple seconds and then switching legs. Good. So either standing or sitting down, you can still do that hinge forwards. Good. Really think of sticking your bum out and behind you. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, let's see how our legs feel. If you're sitting down, you can just practice moving one leg out to the side of the chair and back to the center. Good. You don't have to lift it off the ground too much. Same exercise if you're standing. You can even just drag your foot on the ground. Try to get that knee and toe to face the side and then back to the center. If you're feeling good with balance, you can lift that foot off the ground too. I don't want you to feel like you have to force that knee out to the side of the room, but instead, even just like a 10-degree rotation is good. 10 degrees to 45 degrees, just a comfortable movement side to side. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Now let's stretch up the upper body, mainly focusing on the arms and shoulders. Let's do some nice shoulder shrugs. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. Nice. Good. Nice. And you can bring one arm up, cross it across your body, and then pull that arm to your chest. Same exercise that we did earlier. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Over to the other side. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Good. Sort of similar to what we just did. I want you to bring your arms out to the side. If 90 degrees is a bit too high, you can always go a bit lower and really try and reach your arms back to each back corner of your room, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then now hug your arms in front. Give yourself a nice big hug, breathing in and out. All right, arms back out, reaching to the back wall, breathing in and out, and then give yourself a nice big hug. You can even let yourself shrug forwards a bit, breathing in and out. Good. Let's just check in with that neck and shoulders. If you feel comfortable with this, you can bring one ear down to the shoulder. Breathing in and out, over to the other side. Breathing in and out. Good. One more time on each side. Really let that opposite shoulder fall down to the ground. You feel that stretch on the side of your neck here, and over to the other side again. Good. Bring that head on top of your spine. We're in that active standing or sitting position. And let's take 3 deep breaths to end off the class. So if your arms are available, to bring up to the ceiling, breathing in. And deep breath out through your mouth. Good. Breathing in through your nose. And then blow out some candles through your mouth. And last time. Breathing in and deep breath out. Very good. All right. I encourage you to continue stretching or moving any way you want. But we do have a number of the day. So give you 5 seconds. Try to remember what that number was. Was 6, 5, 9, 1.